Hello, this is Unit 4 Strain Energy Concepts and its Applications. In fact, in this chapter, we are going to understand the basic concepts of strain energy, and the application will be in finding the deformations, slope, rotation, twist, etc. So, first of all, let us discuss about the strain energy. Strain energy is the energy absorbed by the material under the action of applied load, and it is also called as work done by the force. Mathematically, it is also equal to work done by the load, and it is also called as toughness of the material. The strain, when applied to the material from the unstrained condition to some strained condition, the change in strain and naturally the stress also will cause energy absorbed in the material, and this is called as strain energy. If the material is purely elastic, the energy absorbed will be called elastic energy. If it is inelastic, there will be some part inelastic and some elastic. When stress strain behavior is linear, then under the curve of strain energy, under the curve of stress strain behavior, and between the deformation axis, the area enclosed will be mathematically equal to strain energy. Naturally, if the stress is increased from 0 to maximum value, the strain energy will be nothing but half of the stress into strain, and this will be called as strain energy per unit volume. The total strain energy is nothing but half stress into strain into volume. Now, over the volume, if the value of stress strain is constant, it is very simple to find, just half stress into strain into volume. But if over the volume both or any of these two are varying, then we have to keep them inside integration sign, and integration of stress into strain over the volume or over the volume will be called as strain energy. The half sign is only when energy is stored from 0 to maximum value, or in elastic, or in the slowly applied load or gradually applied load. In case the stress from very beginning is maximum, and suppose our curve is supposed to be parallel to the deformation axis, the total strain energy will be just double of it, because the stress is uniform all through from 0 strain to maximum strain. The strain, so in case of suddenly applied load, the strain energy will be just double of it. But otherwise, in elastic materials, area under the curve is called as elastic strain energy, and area between the curve and the stress axis will be called as complementary strain energy. After unloading, whatever energy is released by the material is also called as strain energy. If we apply the load along this curve, the stress and strain both will increase, and if you come back to the same path, the area will be the shaded portion. So it is also called as elastic strain energy, because that is recovered. The energy recovered from the material is called as elastic strain energy. Now we can find out mathematically the total strain energy is nothing but, under the application of many stresses and strain, we can find out the strain energy, and the sum of all these energies will be called as total strain energy. Now this is more clearly explained in this equation. The total strain energy will be nothing but half into stress and strain. Now within the bracket we have taken all type of stresses and strains. See here, sigma x6, sigma y, sigma z, tau xy, tau yz, tau zx. and corresponding strain also taken. So this must be the strain energy per unit volume of the material, where multiplication of all the stress and strain is taken into account. If you solve this equation, your answer will be 1 upon 2e sigma x square plus sigma y square plus sigma z square minus mu upon e sigma x sigma y z like this plus 1 upon 2g tau xy square tau yz square tau zx square. Now in case any of these stress or strain is not in place, then the same can be omitted. In this equation, we have assumed stress strain law as linear, that is, strain is replaced by stress upon model of elasticity. It means this curve has been followed in forming this equation. In case of some other relationship, the value may change, like for this. Now, suppose a material is only axially loaded system, then it means only one of the stress is present. Sigma x will be equal to force applied on the system divided by area cross section perpendicular to the force, and sigma x, sigma y and sigma z are 0. Even all the shear stresses are 0. So this equation will be very simple. It will be 1 upon 2e sigma x square into volume. Now the total strain energy will be, if suppose over the volume sigma x is varying. Now variation in stress may be due to the variation of the load or variation of the area. Sometimes the load is uniform but area is varying. For example, a tapered rod we take and apply a uniform force at the tip, then over different cross sections the stress will vary. Or we can have a varying load. For example, we hang a rod, due to its cell weight at different cross section the stress will be different because the weight portion will be varying at different cross sections. That's why over the volume the integration will be giving us the total strain energy. Now in case this sigma x is variable in x direction only, dy dz integration like this, it will be area of dy dz, means yz plane over in area in the yz plane will be ax. So this may be replaced by ax. Now our integrations will be very simple. Sigma x is upon 2e into ax, where area in yz plane or area perpendicular to x axis will be taken. This integration, volume integration will change to only line integration. Now if any of these sigma x or ax, they are constants, we can take them out. Even if E is not varying or velocity is not varying, we can take them out. Otherwise we can keep them inside. So after taking all these things outside, your answer will be f square L over 2ae, or you can also write in terms of sigma x, it will be sigma x over 2e into al. This integration dx will change as L, length of the member. Similarly, in pure banding case, when only moment is acting over the material, it will also cause the direct stress, and the stress will be from the formula of simple bending theory, m upon I will be equal to sigma x over y. So sigma x will be m upon I into y. Now if you substitute this value of sigma x in this equation, because this is also a direct stress, you can substitute here, and so your formula will change, and it will become, after replacement, integration mx over ei, where d by dz integration will be equivalent to the moment of inertia of the material, moment of inertia of the cross section. So your equation will be simplified as mx square over 2ei. Why yz has been replaced? Because we are assuming that area cross section is in the plane yz. So integration d by dz is replaced by that. But y square dA will be like this. Y square dA by dz will be moment of inertia of the cross section. It is also called as area moment of inertia. So after replacement we can see that issue. Now in this, within the integration sign, we've got three quantities m, e and I. Means along the length of the member, that is the next direction, if all these quantities are varying, we have to keep them inside the integration sign, otherwise we can take them out. If we take all them out, it will become m square L over 2ei, because integration dx will change by L only. Now similarly, we can also, the third case is strain energy due to shear. The shear will be the pure shear or shear due to the bending. Well, in any case, the shear stress, suppose we are taking dx dy, tau xy is the shear stress, for example, only one stress, we can replace this sigma x by tau xy, and this over the volume. So just very similar example is there. We can find out the strain energy due to shear. Due to bending shear, the tau xy may be replaced by f upon ib integration by dA, or we also write f a by bar upon ib. Now substituting all these things here, we can find different answer of strain energy. Now what we can do is, because stress, the momentum of the section, area cross section changes, therefore we will have different answers for integration within YDA. So I have taken simple example of rectangular section where tau xy will be f upon 2i d square by 4y square. How can you find out? You can take the rectangular cross section, and there is a parabolic diagram from top to bottom, and we can see that stress varying from top to bottom. The maximum value will be just at the level of neutral axis. Now substituting these equations here, your answer will be 3 by 5 f square upon g dx. This after replacement you can find very well. You just substitute this value in integration sign, you will get this answer. If you have any problem, you can discuss afterward also. Similarly, under torsion for circular sections, this tau is equal to T upon IP R, where IP is the polynomial of inertia, R is the radius of the circular shaft. So we can substitute this. Now see here, this equation is same as this one, because there is this shear stress, and this is the shear stress due to torsion. If we substitute the value of tau xy from here, and volume integration, that is dx by dz, if we take yz into r square d by dz, like this one, this part if we take, r will come out from here, tau xy will be equal to t upon ip into r square, square of this will be t square upon ip square r square. So r square d by dz will be replaced by ip. Substituting all these things, your answer will be t square, where t is the torque applied on the section, 2gip. So within the integration we have got these three quantities. T is a torque applied, G is a shear modulus, IP is a potential. Now if you look at a glance all these four equations, that is strain energy due to axial load, strain energy due to bending, due to pure shear, and due to torsion, there is similarity. Similarity means the total strain energy will be equal to, with the integration sign here will be a force. The force will be F applied, or the moment applied, or the shear force applied, or the torque applied. And here is a quantity, that is modulus. Maybe the shear modulus in case of shear stress is like here and here, or maybe the modulus velocity in case of direct shear, that is the axial load and bending. And I is also varying here. In case of pure in case of bending, this I will be simply moment of inertia. In case of torsion, it will be polar moment of inertia. And in the two other cases, it will be replaced by A, area cross section in shear, and also area cross section in axially applied systems. So there is similarity. You can put these four equations parallel. You can see you can compare the two. This is, which as I discussed earlier, the certain applied load case, when the load is from very beginning, the total load is applied it doesn't take time. So there is no average load. The total load is the average also. So area under the curve will be the total strain energy. So in this case, the complementary strain energy is 0. And the gradual load, there is a comparison for sudden loading and for CM. This is strain energy in gradual load system, this is strain energy in sudden loading system. Now after this I will give an example. There is a rod suspended from the top, and due to cell weight we have to find out the strain energy. For example, what you do is that we take any cross section at a distance of say x from free end. Now at this cross section the total load applied will be nothing but the weight of the body below the section. So this way, now at different cross section the weight will vary, or the force applied over the section will vary. Therefore the stress the force diagram is from 0 to maximum. It is variable force system. We can find out, see, along one direction, the direction of the rod, the force is varying, area is not varying. As I explained earlier, we can take the integration. So either we can write equation in terms of force, or we can write in terms of stress, because sigma is nothing but force upon area. So along length x, legs we have assumed along the length of the member in the x direction. Therefore this total strain energy will be nothing but sigma square over E half outside into Ax dx. After substituting the value you can find out the answer like this one. In the second case, this is a in the first case what is the difference? In the first case the force will be uniform all through. At every point the force applied is P. We can simply write down sigma x will be equal to P upon A. But in this case, the even this can be taken outside the integration sign. Your answer will be sigma x square A into L upon 2A, and sigma x will be nothing but P upon A. But in this case it will be like this one. The third case, where the is along the length of the members the force is constant, but a different part of the member the force is different. So we can understand this by drawing the free body diagram for two different parts. So every part have got its own value of the force applied, maybe tensile or compressive. Its area cross section is constant within this part. So integration sign is now changed with the summation sign, because in a given part these quantities are constant, but in different parts the constants are varying. Therefore I to n for different parts the value will be taken as P square L upon 2A as previous. So for different part, to part 1 P1 square L1 upon A1, P2 square L2 upon A2. Because E is constant we have taken outside, L, A and P they are varying here. This is the free body diagram for this part. Next. This is second example we have taken of beam. Now beam may be subjected to bending due to the transverse load or due to the moment. So in the first case we have taken a transverse load at the free end of cantilever. In the second we have taken a moment applied at the free end of the cantilever. In the third case the whole cantilever is subjected to UDL over the length. Now these three examples we have taken. How to take it? If we take one section here, cross section here at distance x, the moment will be equal to P into x. So in our equation mx will be replaced by P into x here. You can go back, see the equation. In case of bending, this will be mx square over 2ei dx. You have to substitute the value of mx only. E and I, if they are constant, they can be taken outside. If moment of inertia is varying along the length of the member, means in x direction, we have to keep it inside. So let us go to the same place. Yes. So mx is replaced by px. Ei they can be taken outside. So after integration, you will get this answer. Similarly, in the second at any distance x, m is constant. So mx is not variable. So all these things can be taken outside. Your answer will be m square L over 2ei. Mx is nothing but m. So integration dx is replaced by L only. Your one line answer is this, very simple. And similarly you can go for this. Here in this case, at any section x, your moment will be equal to WL square by 2. Wx square by 2. If you substitute this value, your answer will be there. You can check these things. The third example is strategy due to shear. So I've given example here. Similarly for torque, you can find out. Use simplification. Now this is all about the strategy of the system. We can take many more examples, and you can consider in the book, etc. for different problems. So next we will discuss the application of strain energy in our next lecture. Here there is a simple definitions of simple what applications are possible. So we have got different methods of strain energy, principle of conservation of energy, virtual conservation. We can discuss after. So let us stop here. सबसे पहले इसको बंद कर देना है.